Good morning, learners. Welcome to today's lesson. We are still on the government of Kenya. And we were talking about the arms of government last week. We talked about the three arms of government: the judiciary, legislature, and executive. And I said executive is headed by the president. The judiciary is headed by the Chief Justice. Legislature is headed, which is another name of parliament, is headed by the Speaker, who is an ex-official member of parliament. And I said about the work of these three arms of government. They go together hand in hand. I said the work of the executive, the work of the legislature is to make and amend laws. The work of, I'm repeating, the work of legislature, its work is to make and amend laws. Make, strong, and amend laws. We have executive. Its work is to implement laws. Then we have judiciary, which interprets laws. So these three arms of government go hand in hand. And we talked about their compositions. Here, legislature, we talked about the members of parliament and the members of the Senate. Executive, we talked about the president, the deputy president. We also talked about the cabinet secretaries. We talked about, we also talked about the attorney general. The attorney general, who is an ex-official. Then we have attorney general. I said advises. Attorney General comes here in executive. His work is to advise the government. He is also an ex-official member of the government here. Then we have the judiciary, which interprets laws, and the head of judiciary, we say, is the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice of Kenya, I told you to go and ask him the Chief Justice of Kenya. I hope you know the Chief Justice of Kenya. He is the head of the judiciary. He has some judges who assist him. We have here, and I said in Kenya we have two types of courts. We have judiciary here. When I'm talking about judiciary, I'm talking about courts. I'm just repeating what we said last week very fast. Then the courts here, judiciary, interprets laws. We have Supreme Court. We have the Supreme Court and subordinate courts. Go and find out which are I gave out last week, but you can also go and find out the Supreme Courts and the subordinate courts that we talked about. Then we talked about who heads the Supreme Court and all those. That is what we talked about last week. Who are the composition of the judiciary? We talked about the composition of the judiciary. So this is the government of Kenya, things that happen in our government, in our day-to-day lives. If there are changes there, we also have to make changes. So we go back to our lesson of today, composition of independent and boundaries commission. In other words, IEBC. This word IEBC, you heard it. These words I've forgotten. IEBC, sorry. IEBC, Independent Electoral Sorry for that, I had forgotten E. IEBC, we as the general, when you are nearing the elections, you usually hear this IEBC every now and then. And the general election in Kenya are held after every 5 years. So after every 5 years, almost when you are near to the end of 5 years, we usually hear the words IEBC everywhere, moving about. They are an independent body that is allowed, that organizes election. It is in charge of election. This is the body that is in charge of elections. This is the body that is in charge of elections in Kenya. This is the body, I repeat, IEBC, or Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, is the body that is in charge of election in Kenya. It is the body that is in charge of election in Kenya, and elections in Kenya, I've told you, are held after every 5 years. So when was the last election held? When was the last elections held? The last elections were held in 2017. They were held in 2017. So when we add 5 years to this 2017, we are going to get 2022. So our next general elections will be held in 2022. So 2017, we add 5 years, we get 2022. So we are going to have our next general elections in 2022. And the body that will be in charge of these elections will be IEBC. They are the ones who are going to conduct the election. So let's go to the composition. Composition meaning people who are there in the IEBC. We always have the chairman. We always have the chairman of IEBC. The chairman of IEBC here is approved, always approved first, approved by the chairman of IEBC is always approved by National Assembly. National Assembly. Then appointed. First you have to be approved. First, the person is supposed to be approved by the National Assembly. That is the first step. Then appointed by the President. That is the requirement for the person to be the chair. For you have to go for vetting, and the vetting is usually in the National Assembly. After there, the names are taken to the President. Then the President is the one who is going to appoint the chairman of IEBC. Then we have other members. We have the deputy. We have the vice chairperson. This is the chairman. Then we have vice chairperson. The vice chairperson must be opposite gender. Must be of opposite gender. Opposite gender meaning if the chairman is maybe this is a chairman, is a man, then the vice must be a woman. Or maybe this is a chairperson, maybe the chairperson is a woman, then the vice chair will be a male person. So that is how, or a female, that is how the IEBC is composed. Then we have the chairperson is always, the chairperson is elected by the members of the commission. members of the commission. The members here, that now the people who will be in this committee will be the ones who will elect the vice chairperson. Then we have another person that we'll be talking about at the commissions. The commission. The chairman, the vice chairman, and we also have the commission. They should be at least, the commissioners should be at least three, and not more than 9. Not more than 9. So these are the members, the commission, at least 3 and not more than 9 members of the commission. Then we have the secretary to IBC, to IEBC. This secretary is responsible for running the commission, day-to-day running of the commission. Day-to-day running of the commission. So these are the composition of the IEBC, the composition of the members of the IEBC. We have the chairman of the chairperson, we have the vice chairperson who is elected by all these, and I said must be of opposite agenda. The opposite gender, not agenda, the opposite gender, meaning if this chairperson is a male, this is a female, or if the chairperson is a female, the chairperson should be a male. Then we have something that you should note is that the commission, I've said about the commission, elected at least, they should be at least 3 and not more than 9. The secretary to IBC are responsible for all the activities that will be running in the IBC, all the members there. So the activities that are going on in the IBC, the secretary should know all activities. Then we go to another thing that you should know about IBC is responsible for reviewing and allocating constituency boundaries. This meaning that if they have, maybe they find that we are in Kisauni constituency, and they feel like this Kisauni constituency is too large for these people. Maybe there are a lot of people in Kisauni. They have to divide this Kisauni into 2. They allocate and rename, they review first, then they allocate if they are going to divide this Kisauni into 2 or they just leave Kisauni. So it is responsible for allocating boundaries, constituency boundaries in a constituency. So we have, if they see that the place, maybe there are a lot of people in that place, they have to change or they have to divide that. So I've said, just revision, that is what the work of IBC is about. We have allocating and reviewing boundaries, and it is in charge of election, So, just to note, the general election, I've said, is held after 5 years. Just a summary. General election is always held after 5 years. Then, the general elections in the constituency, this constituency in Kenya now, we have 290 constituency. We have 290 constituency right now in Kenya. And this constituency are the ones that the head of this constituency are the members of parliament. Members of parliament. You can say what is a constituency. A constituency in Kiswahili ni eneo bunge. Hili ni eneo bunge. Eneo bunge. So you can ask yourself, ule mbunge wako anaitwa nani? Who is the head of the constituency? Eneo bunge lako, who is the head of that place? You know where you come from, whether you are in Kisauni, whether you are in Nyali, whether you are in Mshomoroni, all those. You have to know where you are and know who is the member of parliament of that area. So, all elections in Kenya, all petitions, we usually have the petitions. Maybe the IEBC has done the elections. The IEBC have done the election. After there, you can feel like the elections were stolen. You feel like the elections were stolen. You have heard about that. We also had that in 2017 when Raila said that Uhuru had stolen the election. So when there is petition of election, when there is petition of election, where you feel that the elections have been stolen, someone is not comfortable with the results that the IEBC have given out, so this person goes for a petition and goes to the High Court. The elections, when you feel like a constituency, we are talking about the constituency petition. Constituency. The constituency petition of election are always taken to the High Court. So the member of parliament feels that the elections have been stolen, will go to the High Court. From the High Court is not satisfied, will go to Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal. But the presidential election, these are taken to the Supreme Court. These are taken to the Supreme Court. But now we are talking about constituency petition of election are always taken to the High Court. They are not taken to the Supreme Court. When the person feels that the High Court has favored, is not with the results that the High Court has given out, will now go to the highest court, which is the Court of Appeal. From there, then can go to Supreme, but almost all cases end Court of Appeal. Then the presidential, like the ones for Uhuru and Raila, were taken to the Supreme Court. This is the highest court in Kenya. So that is what you should know about IEBC. And if you have any question, if you do not understand, you are always asked to ask later when you do not understand. Please revisit the video before you do the assignment. Always revisit the videos before you do the assignment, because some of you are just doing the assignment without visiting the videos, and you get that you are failing everything, yet the answers are always in the videos. So I'll give you the assignment. See you next time.